Alright, for the last lesson of this chapter, we're going to be looking at surface area of rectangular prisms. By the end of this lesson, you want to know what surface area is and how you can find it on rectangular prisms. So surface area is the sum of all the areas of all the faces of a prism. So for example, if we had this rectangular prism here, and we cut it all apart, it might look something like this. This is called a net. Okay. So a net is when you take a prism, cut it all apart, and you can see the different sides. So it's kind of like if you took a cereal box and pulled it all apart, you see the different flaps and folds and stuff like that. Basically, the reason we do that is it helps us look at the surface area. So here we have a length and a height. Here we have a width and a height. Oops, that's the same thing. This would be a width here and a height. Same thing here, we have a height and a width. Here we have a length and a height. And here we have a width and a length. The one thing you'll notice is that each of the faces, it's one that's opposite is congruent to it. So if we try to look at the surface area of this, first I'm going to look at this part. So the area of that is just the width times the height. But that's also equivalent to this one. So we have the width times the height times 2. Then we look at this face, in which case we have the length and the height, but we also have that over here, so that's also times 2. Then our last shape is kind of this big middle one, which is our width and our length, or our length and our width. But that's also times 2. And since it's the sum, because we put these all together, it's all of these added together. So using that, we can develop the formula of the surface area of a rectangular prism is 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times the height, plus 2 times the width times the length. Oops, nope, we did that one already. Sorry. 2 times the length times the height. Alright, so we want to find the surface area of this prism. Basically what I would do is just make sure, because we have 3 different ones, so each of them has to be paired with the other one. So the first 2 I'm just going to look at are here. So we have 9 times 5, which would be 45, times 2. So those 2 faces are 90 feet squared. Then our next one we can look at, I'm going to do 7 and 5. So I have 7 times 5 times 2, which is 35 times 2, which is 70 feet squared. So that takes care of the front and the back. And then lastly, we have to do what we haven't done yet, would be 9 times 7. So we have 9 times 7 times the 2 faces. So we have 63 times 2, which gives us 126 feet squared. And now we're just going to add them all up and find the sum. So we have 126 plus 70 plus 90, and we get a total of 286 feet squared. So why don't you go ahead and pause the video and try this problem out on your own and see how you do. I found an old toy chest at a garage sale, but it is in pretty rough shape. I decided to help it make it look nice again that I can just paint it. If the toy chest is 19 inches high, 19 inches wide, and 38 inches long, what is the surface area I will have to paint if I'm painting all the sides, including the bottom? So we have a 38 by 19 inch toy chest. I want to find its surface area. So the first ones I'm going to do are just the 38 and the 19. So I have 38 times 19 times 2. Which gives me 1,444 square inches. Now I'm actually going to do that same calculation again because I have my other side that's 19. So 38 times 19 times 2, which once again will give me 1,444 inches squared. And then the last thing we have to do is the 19 by 19. So 19 by 19 by 2, which gives us 722 inches squared. And now we're just going to add those for a total of 3,610 square inches that I need to paint.